Donald Trump is comparing the unprecedented FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago estate to the 1972 break-in at the Wetargate Hotel. The former president asked this: what is the difference between this and Watergate, where operatives broke into the Democrat National Committee? Here, in reverse, Democrats broke into the home of the 45th president of the United States. Well, let's explain the difference. The Watergate break-in was illegal, a burglary by Nixon henchmen. The Mar-a-Lago search was conducted by FBI agents who knocked at the door and served a search warrant, a warrant issued by a federal judge who reviewed evidence and determined there was probable cause to suspect illegal activity at the former president's home. Let's discuss this with a man who understands presidential scandal quite well, the former Nixon White House counsel, John Dean. John, Trump likes to make historical comparisons. He likes to play victim, but on the facts here, he's flat out wrong, right?
He doesn't understand what happened during Watergate, or he's just trying to distort what happened there at his home. And it doesn't work at all, the analogy.
And so walk me through your thoughts. You get interviewed all the time about your days in Nixon. You're also, you're a former White House counsel. You're a pretty smart legal mind. That the FBI and that the Attorney General would sign off on a warrant for the former President of the United States to go search his residence in Florida. What does that tell you about the state of this investigation?
What it tells me, John, is that they were cooperating, but somehow Trump cut them off and did something that provoked this action. They obviously are very aware of what he has. They may have an inside source that sees some abuse of that material. So they had to take an extraordinary action to protect the national security documents, and that appears what this is. The National Archives is very aggressive with this sort of thing. I know a former Nixon White House aide who happened to not get all his papers turned in, later cooperated with a journalist on a book. Next morning, the FBI was at his door, and it was not a friendly visit. So this is something they're very concerned about, that national security information and presidential records are not where they should be.
So take us back through your experience and connect the dots where you can and make important distinctions maybe where you cannot, in the sense that the investigation of Nixon took quite a long time. There was testimony like yours. There were tapes that were ultimately turned up. There were documents. But the building blocks of that took some time. When you're watching this play out today, what seems familiar and what's different?
Well, when my first reaction when I heard about the serving the search warrant, that I figured, which investigation is this that they think they have documents? It wasn't until later, and actually in Trump's response when he said Hillary Clinton got away with her emails, well, I said, that means he's dealing with documents that are missing and he hasn't turned in, or something of that nature. So yes, this has been in months in development. You've got an agency that's very protective of its documents and wants them and wants to. This is a perfect example to make a point that not even a former president can walk off with classified documents. If you recall, Sandy Berger, who was Bill Clinton's national security advisor, went out and tried to take some documents from the National Archives, and he didn't go to jail for it, but he got a heavy fine. The judge fined him $50,000 and really scolded him because it was a stupid thing he did. So this is something that is aggressively pursued. It appears to be separate from Trump's many other problems. But while they were there and serving that subpoena, if they saw anything related to his involvement in the overturn of the election, they could take that. So we don't know, and what Trump should do is turn over and open up the warrant and let us all see what they wanted.
It would be great to see what they wanted. I'm sure that the Justice Department, they want to wait till they get to the key point in the investigation. Before I let you go, just an observation. It's hard for me to believe, I don't know whether to call it irony or what, that we're having this conversation 48 years to the day of Richard Nixon leaving the White House. 48 years ago in this hour, Gerald Ford being sworn in as President of the United States. What goes through your mind?
Well, who would have thought that we'd have a president that is more troublesome than Richard Nixon? I never dreamed that someone would make him look like a choir boy, but here we are. And we've got, he looks awfully good today as opposed to the problems we got with Trump.
John Dean, grateful for your time today. I remember sitting with my father. I was 10 years old on this day, back when this happened. He said things about Richard Nixon I will not say on live television. John Dean, appreciate your time. Thanks so much.